Good morning, everyone. Today's the 17th of October, and very nice to see the markets rallying today. Take a look at this. This is a 30-minute ES chart. Look at that rally overnight. Let me go ahead and spread this out, show you. Big, beautiful move to the upside. We're back up at highs. Once these markets open, after this big rally overnight, I believe we're probably going to carry onward off to this, 59.35 type area, maybe a good carry through today. We do have a, oop, here we go. We do have a carryover in trending mode. And we're at 582 as of the close yesterday on the ES. We're currently at 584.65 up in this area right here. Let me try to draw it for you. So we're right at yesterday's, or excuse me, Tuesday's high right over here. And it looks like, honestly, we're going to get a breakout today, possibly rallying up into the 590, 592 area. If my analysis continues to play out, we're going to get, again, a good solid rally today. And then we have that temporary bottom setting up tomorrow in trending mode. That's Friday. The temporary bottom pattern will likely be some sort of a base rallying up into the close, kind of like this. Temporary bottom is a little U-shaped kind of or a V-shaped kind of a base bottom. And it looks like we're going to have, again, a nice solid rally. Remember, this was, all of this was predicted weeks in advance. And, I just love the comments. I'm getting comments from people, subscribers, followers, that my analysis has been 100% spot on. Yeah, 100%, I'll take it, but I know better. I like to say that I'm about 80, maybe 85, maybe 90% at times, but the market does shift as I'm showing you. If you follow me on a daily basis, you'll know that, I'm doing my best to predict future market activity, laying out this roadmap for trading. I want you guys to be aware that, predicting the future is almost, impossible. And if you stick with that premise, knowing that what I'm doing is virtually impossible to do, and I'm doing it with about an 80 to 85% accuracy, just understand how amazing, how unbelievable that really is. And that's why people come in here and you challenge me, or you say, oh, you were wrong. Yeah, okay, I was wrong maybe once or twice or three times, a month. But generally, I think you're finding that I'm darn well accurate, and that my analysis is valid, and my tools are valid, and they prove themselves over and over again. And again, I just want you to understand the real power of what's going on when I'm able to make these predictions 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days in advance. And remember, I can make these predictions theoretically a month or 2 months in advance, but they will lose validity going out more than about 10, 15 days. If I try to predict something more than 2 weeks out in the future, we could see price shift away from my expectations considerably, like what happened here. These were my expectations a couple of weeks ago. Price shifted. You can see back over here, if you take a look at this, you'll see price followed right along with my expectations and originally back in this area. Then it shifted. Nothing really changed other than this pullback day and pullback range here was deeper than I expected. It started shifting back over here. But as far as the cycle patterns, price still played out almost identical to my cycle patterns. It just shifted away from a straight linear move. And this is what's called like a 0.5% standard deviation shift. So now we're down in this lower area. These lower bars are pretty much exact copies of these upper bars. It's the same analysis, It's just shifted downward as price has shifted. So today we are looking at, again, a very solid upward trend, and we're looking for the SPY to attempt to move possibly up into this 590, 591 area. I mean, I'd be happy if we get above 588. That'd be a really solid move, guys. And then tomorrow we'll see if we get any type of upward movement up above 596. So, if I were to draw my levels, this 588 level right here, and then tomorrow probably 596. And if we get up into these levels by the end of the day, I would consider those very successful upward closes. And then we're going to have, like I said, Friday. We could get a big move, carrying over into Monday. But I'm going to just urge you, if we get this solid upward swing, look to book 80, 90, well, 60 to 80% of your profits right over here, maybe even all of it, and then wait to see what happens on Monday. Remember, we move into that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with counter trending. Excuse me, still early. We move into counter trending mode. I think we're rolling into kind of a topping pattern over here. And of course, I'll do my updated research on the weekend. Okay, so big move today, big upward move. We'll see if it follows through. I believe it will, based on my analysis. We're right in the middle of this swing. This is a good, solid swing potential here, moving higher. Should give us a really good opportunity to the upside. I want you guys to be aware that, this is mark this in light green. This is a really good upward swing for the next day or two, maybe even 3. We've got a really great opportunity to see this move higher. Okay, QQQs. Same type of scenario. Now the Qs are trading right now way up here, 495. And again, you can see I had indicated yesterday that we were likely moving from this extended base mode here. Okay, you can see how we hit a peak, we flagged, came down to 3, consolidated, came down to 4, telling you that this was going to set kind of an ultimate low down here, and we did get it. And you can see in red here, we've got this flagging formation. Well, here we are. We've rolled out of flagging. We've consolidated, and now we're rallying up to an ultimate high. Now we're right into this area, and we gotta kind of see where we're at this mode here. In fact, let me come over here and take a look at the NQ. Yeah, well, if this is correct, we come down, we hit our ultimate low, we roll back up, we flag, and we break. So we have broken the flag. We have yet to establish consolidation. That means that we're going to come to some point and consolidate. Okay, it may be here, it may be higher, but we are going to come to some point and consolidate. Then, as I showed you in the excess phase peak pattern, we will break, which will probably happen later today or tomorrow, to the upside, which will set up our ultimate high. Now, will it go to 21 grand? I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility. That seems reasonable when you consider, this move here, back in here to this base, up to roughly here, back down to here. Yeah, that's really, so yeah, 21 grand is reasonable. Right here is a reasonable solution. And again, this is a 30-minute chart, 1-hour chart. So, we could have a 500 point rally in the Qs, in the NASDAQ and the Qs over the next couple of days, if my analysis is correct. But remember, we're watching for this consolidation period. That's part of the excess phase peak. The reason I'm highlighting these excess phase peaks for you, because I want you to start picking these apart and seeing these. These are the drivers. It's the one pattern. If I were to tell you what is the secret of the market as far as understanding price movement, I would tell you this excess phase peak pattern is all you need to know. Okay, there's a lot more to it. If you really want to get functional as far as trading, you need to learn a couple more things. But this excess phase peak pattern is very, very important to know because it happens everywhere and it is the driver of price. It's what separates trending from flagging, and it repeats itself continually over and over and over again. Okay, so let's come back over here. So we're expecting the Qs to try to rally. I doubt we're going to get up here to this 504 level today. We could by Monday of next week be up into this 504 level. So, coming back over here, coming back over here, we could see a nice gapping move here, followed by an upward trend, pushing up into here, consolidating, and then pushing up into this area by the 21st, 22nd of October. So remember, we're looking for, our buy trigger was right over here. This is what I highlighted. Beautiful buy off of this low. We're now moving higher and we're looking to sell at the end of the day on Friday and picking up a little bit more opportunity Monday morning. Looking to sell Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning into this little rolling topping pattern. So beautiful, really beautiful the way things are setting up here, guys. I mean, just lovely. I can't say it any other way. Absolutely lovely. Okay, so let's go over here to gold. Last I looked at gold, we were moving into a flagging formation. Yep. Looks like we're breaking out just a little bit right now. This is a 30-minute chart. Try to get this set up for you. And what we're really looking at here is another excess phase peak pattern playing out just beautifully. Okay. You can see, let me just come here and do it this way. So you can see the broader excess phase peak right here. The red line coming down to the low, coming up to this pullback. It looks like 100% pullback right across here, setting up a kind of a double topping formation. And then we move into this flagging formation. There's a number of other excess phase peak patterns in here, but on this big red one, we finally get the breakout. I warned that this could have been consolidation, but then it moved up into this broader range and moved into even more extensive consolidation, which makes a lot more sense to me. Remember, try to make sense of the market activity. It's going to throw you some curveballs, and there's miniature, little excess phase peak patterns all the way down to the 1 minute or 30-second chart. But now we're getting that breakaway. So now we're starting to get that. Let me try to spread this out. We're starting to get that breakaway to the upside right here. Come on, bars, get a little bigger. Wow, okay. Should be getting close to getting them bigger. There we go. We're starting to get a little bit of a breakaway above this consolidation range. My opinion is, and you can see I've marked this by here. My opinion is through this consolidation, we've got a solid close, we've got an anchor bar, we've got a Fibonacci price theory new high. So this gives us a pretty good opportunity here with gold to see a good move, maybe up into this 2730, maybe up into this 2750 area. So remember, I had highlighted 2740. I'm just going to mark this area here as kind of our area for upward movement. And that's going to be another, roughly $35 to $40 rally between today. Now remember, gold today is a Harami inside pattern. So I'm not expecting a whole lot of movement today. I'm really not. I would say that, gold may stay in a fairly tight range, trying to maneuver out of this range before really starting to take off, maybe at the end of the day today. So don't expect gold to make any big moves today. Today's a Harami inside pattern, indicating the price is going to stay fairly narrow for a bit and then maybe start to move back to the upside towards the end of the day. That would be outstanding. That would give everybody an opportunity to get in and find your lows prior to the next big move. And of course, silver, again, looking at this 30-minute chart, check this out. So we come down, it's pretty simple, guys. I just look for a peak. I'll show you this again. Look for a peak, come back down to the pullback, look for flagging, come back down to the consolidation pattern right here, consolidated, and then broke to a new low. Okay, perfect. Now we come here, we get the new low, we come back up, we get our flagging, set this up to red, set this flagging here. We break out to the upside. We don't have any consolidation yet. We're still looking for consolidation. And what we're looking for at this point is, like I said, we would be looking for at some point reaching a peak. This is a pretty good area running right across here potentially, or potentially across here. So we would be watching for some peak and then consolidation and then another rally to an ultimate high, or reaching some peak, consolidating, and then rallying up to some new high potentially. So we're setting up a very nice excess phase peak pattern in an inverted structure. This is an inverted excess phase peak. Normally, you're used to seeing them in a bullish phase like this, reaching a peak, pulling back, flagging. In this case, we're looking at an inverted pattern, reaching a low, pulling back, flagging, and it just reverts itself, meaning it inverts the entire pattern. Same pattern setup, same structure, just playing out in a mirrored format. So we're looking good. We're looking at this consolidation phase next. We're trending. We had a big, beautiful trend. It played out exactly like I told you guys. But now we're moving into this consolidation and really looking for that breakout move. So this is the next move we're hopefully going to get in gold. Now, remember, it can fail and come down as well. But I think metals are going up at this point, hedging global risk. So let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Wow, look at that. Okay, now if you remember what I told you guys, okay, we are getting into this, it's a very interesting pattern. I'll go out to hourly so we can see it. But so here we go. So we've hit the low. There's our excess phase peak, bottoming number one. Come back up to the pullback, flagged out into number two, rolled back up into consolidation over here. And this was again the way I looked at it. And so now I'm going to show you something because this is really quite interesting. So you can look at this as consolidation and say, okay, this is consolidation, and this is our excess phase peak high right here. Okay, so here's our consolidation, and there's our excess phase peak, our ultimate high. So now we're coming over here and look at this. What does this look like to you? Look at this. What does this look like to you? So we come up here, we set this high, we come across this level. To me, it looks like consolidation, right? That's what I see. I see consolidation. So now, if we have this consolidation into this mode, then this potentially shifts this entire mode. So you can see here, if this is consolidation here, and into this range, meaning that all of this really is consolidation. And we're looking then at some breakaway pattern up here into the ultimate high, even though, again, this did look like valid ultimate high, we would have to be aware that this could be here an ultimate high pattern as well. Then we're looking at, again, another potential move here to the upside. If we get a breakaway up to an ultimate high, that is a valid potential setup right now. Okay. But look at this, peaking, flagging, rolled out of the flag. We now need to understand that we now have a peak, a failed new high. We got above it, but a failed close above it. We're rolling downward. This would indicate that we are potentially rolling into a downward channel, setting up some new low, potentially consolidating, and then setting up an ultimate low, potentially down back into this area. So we have dual excess phase peaks playing out here. Which one would I want to trade right now? That's the big question. If I wanted to take a position as to what's going on, I would have to come back into here and rely on Fibonacci price theory. I would have to come back, start looking at lows. I would have to start looking for what are called standout lows and unique lows. And again, if you, if you have any questions about Fibonacci price theory, take a look at some of the videos on my trading view. I've gone over Fibonacci price theory in many videos. In fact, I did a series called The Mechanics of Trading, 13-part series focused a lot on Fibonacci price theory, and it's critical that you guys understand these techniques. I mean, the three real techniques you need to learn are Fibonacci price theory. You need to understand anchor bar and Fibonacci structures, and then you really need to understand these excess phase peak patterns. So right now we have this failed high, very important, failed new high. Failing new high, Fibonacci price theory is the basis that price must always attempt to seek either a new higher high or a new lower low. Always. Okay. Prices always. It doesn't matter what you think is happening. Okay. Price is always attempting to break out of a higher high or a lower low structure. So we set this high, it pulls back. What happens is this pullback is attempting to break lows. So where's our most recent lows? Right over here. We go back a little further, it's right there. Go back a little further, it's right there. Go back a little further, right there or right there. So you can see it's trying to break these lower lows. It broke this little one right here, and it broke this one right here. So you can see as it's coming down, we break these lows. As it's going up, it sets new highs. Failing to set new highs means it must attempt to come down and break to new lows. Failing to break to new lows and confirm these new lows means what? It must turn back around and attempt to break new highs. In order to get to new highs, it's got to get above this level. It did. It came back up and tried to get to new highs, but it failed. And at this point, failure to break to new highs with close above these previous high levels means what? Means now it's got to turn right back around and attempt to break to new lows. It's always attempting to break new highs and new lows, always. So, as a trending model, if you can determine what the broader aspect patterns are, you can come back into these tinier little patterns and say, look, we're in a downtrend right now. Okay, we're in a downtrend. Why? Because it broke this low. Look at this. It broke this low. Okay. And it broke this low just recently. Now it's going to attempt to break this low, and then eventually it's going to attempt to break this low if it keeps going down. And then eventually it'll attempt to break this low. And if that happens, and we're in a downtrend, well, then you're looking at a downward $2,000 downward move, potentially leading to a $4,000 downward move. We are in a downward trend right now until price fails to break a new low and attempts to start moving back upward, breaking highs. And you can see we have highs already. We have a high level right here. Make it dark green. We have a high level right here. Actually, a double topping pattern right there. We have a high level back here. And we have a high level back here. So there's your highs. Very simple. Standout highs are nothing more than fractal peaks and fractal bases. So a fractal peak is basically, it comes up, try to draw it for you. 2 bars on the left coming up, some sort of a new price high or a double top. So you could get price going like this, double, triple top. Imagine those were the same price, and then rolling downward. That would be a series of new price highs with a double or triple topping formation. It still sets up a fractal peak, which is like a rollover type of a top. That's what I'm looking for, a rollover top, a rollover top, a rollover top. Same thing on these lows, rollover bottom, rollover bottom, roll. Here's one right here that I didn't mark. So look, there's one right there. Why? Because it came down, it hit a low, it hit looks like a second low, and then a little bit of a higher low. That sets up a low. That is what's called a standout low right there. And so that's a valid low. So again, the whole theory about Fibonacci price theory is driving trending while these excess phase peak patterns play out. We're looking at a very interesting setup for Bitcoin. I mean, right now, I'm going to tell you that it's in a bearish trend. I like this big, broad expansion pattern, bigger than this narrower expansion pattern. This 5 is valid. This is, you got to pay attention to this. This is valid, possibly confirmed as a top. And we are now in this 3 phase, consolidating into 4. And if we break down, we're going to see a big move down into this area. And if we break up, which doesn't look likely right now, then we're going to try to set up a new high. So I would tell you right now that Bitcoin is more than likely stalling out, reaching a top, and attempting to move back down to 62,000, maybe 63,000, based on my analysis. It's got to get below this low. So understand that it's got to move below this low if it's going to confirm to the downside. That means that this is the target, 62,700, roughly. And how do I pick that? Well, it's kind of simple, guys. I'm just looking for, major turning points. Here's a flag breakout. Makes sense that price would come down to this area, the flag area, and try to find some support. Again, everything's got to make I'm kind of like Mr. Spock. It's got to make logical sense. Okay, almost out of time. Let's go get some this morning. Big move here in the SPY. Could be really powerful today. And like I said, let's just keep working it. Go get some. Talk to you later.